Hi everyone, I'm Toby, the CMO at Nubila, where we're building the largest decentralized ESG data oracle, empowering AI for climate and business intelligence. The problem that we're solving is that there are huge parts of the world today that has very little access to hyperlocal real-time weather data. Hardware and sensors are expensive, and there's a huge socio-economic imbalance in terms of access to quality weather data. Until now, thanks to DeepIn technology, and thank you to IoTex for helping us, we have tokenization opportunities to incentivize people that wouldn't typically purchase a weather station to deploy one of our stations, share data in the knowledge that they will get their money back and even drive passive income. Why is this a huge opportunity right now? The answer is AI. According to the Boston Consulting Group, AI is turning the $18 billion weather industry into a $100 billion opportunity. And it's all about the data. Every single AI model being produced right now needs real world anchor points to validate and continually retrain their outputs. And so Nubila is going to be uniquely positioned to become the data or the real world asset oracle for all weather and ESG data to power climate and business intelligence for so many industries. I can't go into them all, but financial services, energy, insurance, agriculture, logistics, and travel, climate mitigation. Okay, it's product demo time, everyone. Yes, I'm up a ladder in my backyard in California. This is our incredible Marco weather station that we launched at the end of last year. You can see its compact, sleek design. It collects temperature, humidity, air pressure, UV, and wind speed. It transmits data via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. It comes with a solar panel, as you can see here. We have an app so that station owners can view their data and data from every Nubila station around the world. Right, let's talk revenue model. There are three main revenue streams. Number one, the hardware sales. Weather Geeks purchase approximately 950,000 weather stations every year. So there's huge demand out there for us to capture. We already have an API to sell our raw data, and perhaps the biggest opportunity in the long term are the endless AI apps and agents that we can build for businesses in the industries I've already mentioned. Let's talk go to market. Initially, we really leveraged community building on Discord and Twitter to sell devices to early adopters in the DeepIn Web3 community. We're now launching campaigns to reach the traditional weather enthusiast and smart home market. We have distributors in most major geo markets, and we have some really exciting discussions ongoing with traditional retailers to sell our hardware. Recapping what we've done, we raised $2.5 million in July last year. We purchased the Bloom Sky weather station network in September last year, which is how we have incredible hardware manufacturing capabilities and facilities. We shipped our Marco weather station in December. January, we launched our API and our first weather AI agent called Kayla. And today, we have 20,000 stations deployed and 20 plus data clients, one of which is Wise Sprinklers. They use our data to automate irrigation systems for their clients. We have a very interesting partnership that we're building with a drone company that's delivering in parts of the US for some major retailers, and we help them plan their flights. What sets Nubila apart from our competitors, I hear you ask? Well, we facilitate data across the entire weather value chain. So we are competing with point solution providers in each of these areas. As mentioned, we can create our own equipment. We are obviously a huge data provider. We're collecting so much raw data. We are building our own data intelligence apps through AI. And of course, we are building up a sales strategy and partnerships with the end users, the large brands around the world that can use our data and intelligence. This is reflected in the team. Benson and Bob are our co-founders, and they both have incredible Web3 and AI experience. Amy, our chief of AI, has incredible AI experience too. Hog is our hardware expert, and I bring the weather industry experience. What's next? We are looking to secure $8 million in funding right now so that we can help expedite deploying 20,000 stations in the US, 40,000 globally. Those are our goals for the end of year. We are already conducting R&D into new sensor hardware, new weather stations, but also air quality and other environmental sensors. We are integrating environmental SDKs into AI agent platforms so other developers can use our data. We are finalizing our own AI app go-to-market strategy, and we are launching a new version of our API. Thanks for listening. These are our contact details, and I'm looking forward to some great questions.
Okay, we are back. Guys, what do you think? Let's bring Toby in and maybe let's ask him some questions.
Hey guys, sorry about the janky video editing. Not my forte.
I love a homemade job. So I got a quick one
Well,
right off the
I have
bat.
4 minutes. They gave me 4 minutes.
I understand those gates are hard to hit sometimes. The validator nodes. What's the compute load look like if I wanted to be a validator and support this weather data network?
I'm trying to think. Let me rack my brain. I think it's licensed so far. Yeah, I don't have that on the top of my head. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I have a couple.
I'm a weather geek at heart.
I totally understand. Yeah, there's a lot of stack involved in this. Real quick. So, do you have any insight on how they validate the data? How do the validations occur after the actual stations capture it?
After the stations capture it, yeah, they download. It's we have. As you can tell, I really don't. I'm the weather guy. I'm not the Web3 guy. So all I know is that we have several validated providers and services. It's people use software. They download software to run the node. So validation is normalization. It's just normalizing the data and cleaning it up.
Got it.
And we have our own AI algorithm that kind of obviously does a sanity check. And as we grow more and more towards critical mass, our AI QC just gets more and more accurate.
Some validation nodes require like pretty heavy compute and dedicated.
Oh no, these do not. I know that, but
that's exactly
I'm afraid not being the weather geek, not the Web3 geek. I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
That's all right, Toby.
Decision, but it's definitely pretty light.
What is the AI that you're building? Can you describe more of what that is? Is it a bespoke physical AI model, standalone model? Is it feeding into someone else's model?
Right now, we just built our own AI agent called Kayla, which is just a very kind of consumer friendly. You can ask a question about, say, hey, I'm going to Seattle next weekend. What's the weather going to be like, and what activities should I plan? And it uses LLMs to give you a really in-depth analysis of the typical climate, the typical things you should pack, places to eat if it's really sunny.
Is this like a ChatGPT assistant that you're feeding?
We use
files into?
we use the Bino AI framework that IOTEX and Eliza OS amazingly built for us. So that's a very consumer play, but we're scoping out now, and we're kind of speccing more B2B enterprise solutions. So top ones right now that we're exploring are solar output variability monitoring. So to help solar companies, probably more importantly, the financial companies backing these solar companies, to understand hyper-local forecast outputs for energy, microgrid and battery optimization. Again, great for energy companies. Wildfire risk monitoring is high on the list, and insurance claim validation. So those are 4 of 3. We've evaluated over 300 of them. So, I mean, the list is endless. Obviously, there's a lot of these companies that are making their own AI agents. So in some cases, they may take our raw data, but we see the opportunity with our AI expertise. We see the opportunity to really lead the charge in developing this incredible climate and business intelligence.
And Toby, since you mentioned hyperlocal data, do you plan on is the device you have now, Marco, is that going to be your go-to device? Do you plan on, making another device?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked this, what we're seeing now in the DePIN space is a lot of the enterprises don't care about replacing, but on the user, the regular guy, if we want grandma to come use, she probably doesn't want to replace something every year. So just wondering. So 2 questions. Is there going to be another device or another way to be a part of the network, and will that be future proof and modular? So I can either just join today, or I don't have to keep buying a device. Every time there's like a tech upgrade. On your guys' side.
There will definitely be no need to upgrade, but there will be options to upgrade. The Marco station is kind of our base, kind of table stakes for weather data, but we're already exploring a pro version that would add precipitation and wind direction. Also, the Bloom Sky station that we purchased had a sky camera, so we still have a lot of that data, which is super interesting for cloud cover, really important for solar as well, being able to see the cloud cover. Probably might be called, you heard it here first, might be called Polo, you never know. But we're also looking at, as I said, outside of weather, we're looking heavily right now into air quality, and eventually we want to be basically the oracle for all ESG data. But obviously, as we sell the bigger devices, we have to kind of think bigger batteries, bigger solar panels. It's obviously not straightforward, but that's why I think we're kind of unique in that we have incredible hardware designer and manufacturing experience through Hog and his team in China.
And Toby, going back to your pitch, we always see, we're gonna go to Web 2 and get the financial freedom guys, kind of the outside. We'll say outside the DePIN echo chamber. Nemo's done a masterful job. I'm glad Rob's here. What are you guys' plan for narrative and getting the people that you want interested in the end, right? We love our DGen Web 3, the DePIN, we're here. But for this thing to really grow, we need the demos, the GeoNets, what is your plan? It looks good, to everyone in the deck, that, that's the plan. But I was really curious, what is the strike between weather and getting these guys onboarded?
Yeah, so we've already integrated with the Weather Underground network. So if you purchase one of our stations, you can also join Weather Underground, which is huge, because I basically built that community to 250,000 stations, was my previous role before, which is why, when Bob and Benson approached me and, opened my mind to the possibilities of how DePIN can actually give back to the community, we built this amazing company called Weather Underground, right? The original, crowd-driven weather station network, biggest in the world. They were so happy to give us the data for free. But then when the founders decided to sell to the devil himself in the Weather Channel, that was when they were suddenly like, what the frick? Come on, guys. Well, we've given you all this data for free, and you're going to just dump us, sell to the devil, and run off. Imagine if we were able to give back in the way that DePIN can. The other quick thing is obviously using incentives to get stations put up in areas of the world that really need it. That's the most transforming part of DePIN. And with my being a weather background geek, it's just, it's incredible. Throw in the prevalence of AI, where data is key. Every AI model around climate and weather and the environment needs anchor points, right, to validate the output and retrain constantly, and the demand is just going to be huge.
And those, just real quick, those are forecasting models that they would use in Valencia, so they would have a heads up on a flood and save lives, obviously, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of early warning alert systems will just be triggered. Even the biggest forecasting companies in the world, like Google and Nvidia, their number one problem if you ever talk to them, is not enough data. So yeah, just the regular forecasts will be improved, but in particular in parts of the world, the global south in particular, will, hopefully, as well as getting more pro stations, we're looking at getting even lower cost stations. If we drop the anemometer, and just temperature and air pressure could be hugely valuable for better forecasts across Africa and in particular South America. Yeah.
Awesome. Toby, thank you.